Well, thank you for starting the recording. Thank you everyone for being here this evening. I'm sure there's a few more joining us this evening, but I would like to welcome several districts that are from outside of California. Joining us today, we have District 50. Welcome for joining us. We have members for multiple District 19, multiple District 36, multiple District 49, and of course, all our members from MD4. Again, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us. Here we have our members of our MD4 GAT team. With us, we have Constitutional Area 1B Area Leader, PDG Mark Paiva. Council Chair Kevin Guest will be joining us a little bit later. Our techie behind the scene is our GLT coordinator, PDG Manny Sanchez. Our GST coordinator is Kathy McCracken. Our family and women's membership specialist, Lion Arminda Ruiz. Also our GT coordinator, PDG Linda Barbara. And of course, myself, yours truly, I am your MD4 GMT coordinator and vice area leader, working closely with Mark here. But again, welcome everyone for joining us. All right, Manny, let's get started with the slides. Okay, so we have the agenda here. We'll be going through it. We will cover the objectives of the 3 sessions. Once we're all done with all 3 sessions, we will be covering those objectives. Oh, we'll move my slide.
Sorry. Do you got control? Okay.
I got it now. Thank you. No, don't touch.
Oh. I'm moving stuff out of the way. It's all yours. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I'll let go. Letting go.
Okay. Thank you. We'll be reviewing. We'll have PDG Mark review our district goals and stretch goals. As you remember, many of us went to Orlando, Florida or Chicago, and we revisit our district goals. So Mark will be reviewing those with us really quickly. He will also start with why start a new club, reasons why we should start a new club. And then after that, I will step in with the club types and formats that are available to everyone, developing your team, how to bring about your team to bring in new clubs, and also identify areas of opportunity, and then we'll cover resources. So that's the agenda for today. And as you will see from the flyer, we broke it up into 3 segments, so that way we could keep it simple and make it easier to digest for everyone. Okay. So here are the objectives for this evening. It is our hope by the end of this evening that you will be able to understand the importance of starting a new club and development in your communities, acquire the understanding of recruitment methods and the tools you need to start your new club. Hopefully will help you gain the knowledge in conducting the informational meeting and organizational meeting. And there's some key points we will cover on that as well too. What is this here? And then the final thing is to understand the whole chartering process. So by the end of the 3rd session, it is our hope that it'll give you a better idea of the chartering process. Some of us have gone through this already last spring, but as always, we tend to forget little tidbits here and there, so it's good to run them through. How many of you have gone through the new club development process before? within the last year or so? Have any of you done that? I know MD4, quite a few did have gone through it.
I
So
have,
again, this will
but for
be,
Leo's, if that counts.
yes, absolutely. All right. So now I turn it over to Mark, so he will review the goals with us and also tell us the reasons why we should start new clubs. It's yours, Mark.
Thank you. Click start. Remote controls. Okay. Pardon me, as Manny's taught us some new things, and there they are. I have the privilege of telling you something you already know. But I think what I'm going to also tell you is something that's going to come as a little bit of a surprise. And that is, originally, you were given Mission 1.5 goals. You were given those goals for new clubs, net gain in membership, and total members brought in, added. And then you went to Orlando, and some of you went to Chicago, and you got excited. And you got so excited, you said, I can do better than what I told you originally. And so you created a series of stretch goals. And so you will receive this PowerPoint within a day or two of this meeting so you can look at this chart a little bit closer. This is for all of Area 1B, and you can see it's broken down by multiple district and by district. The very first column is what you said you were going to do in your goals for new clubs. So totally, Area 1B said, we're going to do 36 clubs. And then some really exciting people said, like C4, we're going to do 5 clubs. Then you went to Orlando or Chicago and you said, no, 36 isn't the right number. We think we can go to 57. So we have a target goal of 36 with a stretch goal of 57. Today, we are at 4. And we also have 6 clubs in the queue. They've just got applications started. So we do need to pick up a little bit so we can meet our new club target. You can see these. I know district governors can see them. If you go, and everybody should have this view, in the Lion portal, when you log in and you go to Insights, District Goals, there's 2 types of insights. Go to the one that says District Goals. Pick the area that you're in district, and you will see these goals come up. To see your stretch goals, there's another button there that you just say stretch goals, and it will show you the stretch goals. So this is what we're working towards this year, and this is why we're offering these opportunities for new club development within the Area 1B mission. And so I'm really grateful that MD4 and PDG Juanita have agreed to put this series on for us. Lots and lots of people talk about, well, I'm going to focus on retention. I don't need new clubs. I can't keep the people I have. Well, it's kind of an interesting conundrum because starting a new Lions Club offers numerous benefits for both the community and its members. When we focus on community service, the club seeks out important local issues. It may seek out hunger. It may look at health applications. But when it does a service project, it's making a direct impact. Additionally, members can expand their professional and social networks. while the club structure fosters the development of leadership and organizational skills. Once we have all of these working together, these benefits create a much stronger, more connected, and engaged community. We became the world's largest service organization, one club at a time. So begin with your extension efforts today. Now, even though this is new club development, we're going to talk about retention, and we're going to give you opportunities to try different scenarios in your clubs and your districts for some of these strategies that we have for retention. But it's all part of getting more Lions so that we can do more service. One of the key benefits of getting more members is we get to rejuvenate and grow. Our primary goal as a Lion is really to expand our membership, to give other people the opportunity to serve in the same way that we serve, so they can get the same benefits and satisfaction from serving. When we bring in new members, this allows us to have more volunteers who are available for activities and projects. It's essential to target a diverse range of potential members. This will include younger generations and different professional backgrounds. When you go after those two target markets, you're bringing together a fresh perspective and a new energy to your club. And let me say one thing about younger generations. Younger is relative. If you're a club with people in their late 60s and early 70s, 50 is young. If you're a club in your 50s, then you want to adjust accordingly. But don't just assume that you have to go out and bring in 20-somethings. You bring in someone that's in their 50s, they have a long volunteer history ahead of them. As we grow our membership, we also gain access to new skills that these members bring in, to their expertise, and especially the networks that they have. This allows us to leverage additional resources, create partnerships, and find sponsorships to support our activities. New members bring unique connections and talents that can help the club with everything from organizing to securing funding for the project. Another benefit of bringing in more members is that new members can invigorate the club with fresh energy and passion. Sometimes their excitement can even inspire existing members to get more involved or maybe participate in more events. But what we want to do is we want to encourage a welcoming and inclusive club culture that will keep the enthusiasm high and foster a sense of belonging. When we create this kind of environment, we find that it's very valuable for member retention. I heard a story the other day about a club that went out and brought in 20 members. They ended up losing 12. One of the problems they had was they brought in all these members and didn't give them anything to do. We need to continuously explore innovative service projects, and we need to be open to new fundraising ideas. This way, our club stays relevant and appealing, not just to our members, but to our community as well. And if we engage a diverse group of members, this gives us the opportunity to tap into different perspectives that help us stay ahead of the curve in addressing community needs. Once we expand our club, we also have to focus on leadership development. And we want to do that to ensure that our members have the skills and confidence they need to take on different leadership roles. And so we need to provide leadership training, mentorship. We need to give them the opportunities to lead projects. When we do this, we will be creating the next generation of club leaders. And the final way that we can rejuvenate our clubs is when we grow our membership, we expand our volunteer base. But this also increases our potential for fundraising. When we have more members, it means we have a broader network to support and promote our events. With these additional funds, we will be able to undertake larger projects and support more community activities. And so there are many benefits to starting a new club and to bringing in new members. Another one is it builds a stronger community. And when we build a stronger community, we discover that at the heart of a strong community and building one is what Lions do. Our efforts make a lasting difference in the places that we call home. And it's through our local service that we truly see the global impact of the work we do. As Lions, we're committed to making a positive change in our communities. The service projects that we engage in, whether it's addressing local hunger, environmental conservation, or supporting those with vision challenges, they're all aimed at meeting the needs that matter most to our community. And we need to recognize that our actions, no matter how small they may seem, create a ripple effect. And when Lions come together, we set an example of leadership, compassion, and unity. One of the great things about having a Lions Club is it provides a platform where local service meets global impact. When we take on community projects, we're not just addressing local needs, we're contributing to a worldwide movement of people helping other people. And through our global network, we share best practices, resources, knowledge, and all of this sharing amplifies the impact on our efforts. Our local projects become a part of a larger effort to change lives across the world. But the neat thing about being a Lion is it offers a unique opportunity for individuals to engage in a meaningful project that aligns with their passions. Their passion may be youth programs, it may be supporting people with disabilities, or it may be disaster relief. There are diverse avenues for people to get involved. And so when we reach out to others to become Lions, we are actually doing an act of service by letting them share the joy of service that we experience. And if we have the right culture in our clubs, this inclusiveness makes it much easier for others to join our cause and feel personally connected to the impact that we're making. We need to encourage more people to participate in our service projects. When we do, we are much better prepared to meet community needs. Training and mentoring new members also helps build future leaders. And it's these future leaders who will continue to drive our mission and expand our reach. And so when we think about new clubs and new members, let's think of it as building a stronger community, in one in which Lions Clubs isn't just about the projects we undertake. It's about our legacy of service. It's about our willingness to empower people to do their best. And it's about our global connection that we create. You may have heard recently that there's different types of memberships. And that is true. One of the most recent has been Leo Lion. The diversity of our clubs reflects the diversity of our members. And that itself is a great strength. Each of our clubs is unique because no two people are exactly the same. And it's this individuality that allows us to cater to a wide range of interests and needs we find in our community. As a Lions Club, you have the freedom to establish your own culture and set priorities that resonate with members. This flexibility helps make each club distinct. It enables members to feel more connected and more passionate about their club's mission. And all we have to do is foster a culture that aligns with the interests of our members. When we do, we find engagement increases, as does satisfaction. We all know that Lions Clubs are not a one-size-fits-all organization. Clubs can operate in a way that best suits their members. You could hold traditional in-person meetings, or you could opt for virtual meetings that accommodate busy schedules. The goal is to create a club environment that works for its members. And you want to make sure you increase everyone's participation and their enthusiasm. We spoke earlier about engaging younger members, and we talked about relative age. But if you want younger people in their 20s and 30s, you need to focus on service projects that address issues they care about. And you also have to incorporate modern meeting and communication methods, such as online meetings or social media for organizing events. Younger people are looking for meaningful ways to contribute to their communities. If we make our clubs flexible and service-oriented, we can appeal to their values and their busy lifestyles. An untapped area for many clubs is encouraging family membership. When we allow families to volunteer together and share the experience of service, we find that this bond is created between the family members and the clubs. It makes being a Lion a meaningful activity for all ages. Clubs that are family friendly can offer activities that cater to different generations, which will further broaden their appeal. We've all heard about specialty clubs. Specialty clubs are not just culture clubs. Specialty clubs allow people with shared interests, whether it's a particular hobby, profession, or a cause, to come together and make a difference. This can attract people who might not otherwise be interested in a traditional club, but they might be excited about a club that aligns with their passion. Specialty clubs can have a focused mission while still benefiting from being part of the global Lions network. When we embrace these approaches, we can continue to grow our membership, and we can ensure that our clubs remain vibrant and relevant in years to come. As Lions, we have a proud tradition of stepping up to meet humanitarian needs whenever and wherever they arise. Whether it's responding to natural disasters, providing access to health services, or we're supporting vulnerable communities, Lions play a vital role in addressing critical issues across the globe. It amazes me that people in communities around the world rely on Lions to step in and make a difference during a time of crisis. Our commitment when we do this is not only recognized, but it's also expected. And this is why we need to continue to rise to the challenge and expand our efforts. To do this, we must empower our Lions to take action. This means we provide them the additional resources, training, and support to enable clubs and members to carry out the meaningful projects. The more Lions we engage, the greater our collective impact will be. And we have a tool resource which we underuse, and that is our Lions Club International Foundation. LCIF provides crucial funding and the resources for Lions projects worldwide. This allows clubs to carry out large-scale humanitarian work. Our support as individual members in a club of LCIF ensures that our service initiatives can reach more people and create lasting change. And finally, let's not forget that our members are our greatest asset. Ensuring their growth and engagement is essential for us sustaining our mission. When we invest in our members' development and well-being, we're not just building a stronger organization, we're building a more resilient and compassionate world. Thank you. And now back to Anita.
Thank you, Mark, for sharing. Now we're going to go into the section pertaining to the different types of clubs that we have available to us. So we have the traditional club. Traditional club is the regular clubs that a lot of us grew up with or that we originally joined. But of course, a lot of us saw the changes that when COVID hit, that it brought upon us. So a lot of things changed. So we had to remodify, and everybody became a little bit more creative in running their clubs. So the traditional club is still bringing everybody together in a group in a service-minded, with service-minded individuals. And again, you set your own service projects and things you want to do within your community, and it offers flexibilities to whichever you want to move forward with your club. Also, it kind of changed the way the club meets. Some changed from meeting every week to every other week, or maybe once a month. But again, it's we will touch on a little bit on your club, your way. The other one is the campus club, and that is specifically designed for college and university students. Members serve within the campus community while building their leadership skills. And we have seen a lot of university students when we've held campus clubs, how they build up their self-esteem and their ability to lead in the community. And some of them move on to serve office within their community or their city council. So we've seen that growth when you have campus clubs. Also, students are eligible for specific discounts through international as well. They do not have to pay the full international price. And that is something that is available to them. The other is, like Mark mentioned, is the Leo to Lion Club. And that is an opportunity for Leos to transition into the adult regular Lions Club. So it's a way of keeping our Leos active and keep moving them forward to move up the ranks and eventually lead on at whatever level they want to serve in. And again, there's special dues for them as well too. So those are your traditional clubs that we have, your traditional club, campus club, and the Leo to Lion Club. And these clubs are specifically not a traditional club, but they are still clubs of service. And that is your branch club. You only need 5 members to become part of this existing club. And you work under the umbrella of a parent club, in other words. So you help serve with them. And in addition, you provide that additional support for the parent club. The neat thing about the branch club is that they also have their own officers, president, secretary, treasurer. And you also have a liaison that serves in that club as a means of communication between the parent club and the branch club. But you're also building leadership when you stop and think about it within the branch club, because you have a president, secretary, and treasurer in training with that branch club. So you're building onto your leadership as well too when you create that branch club. The other one is the virtual club. And of course, these are established to work online and coordinate their events online. Sometimes they meet only for community events or when they have service projects, but they are very viable as well too. And as a regular club, you also have that flexibility of offering your club virtually, your meetings. You could offer one club meeting a month virtually and do another one in person. So this really gives you the flexibility even of your traditional clubs as well too. The other one is your specialty clubs. They are, like Mark mentioned, these are designed for members who share a common interest or passion. It could be cultural, it could be the health industry, it could be in education, it could be a sports theme behind it. But they also perform service project as well too. And they have the same requirements as the regular club, but they just focus on specific projects. It could be nursing, first responders, Special Olympics. These are all forms of specialty clubs. And the one thing that falls under specialty club is also the Join Together Club. That is a little note in there, kind of embedded in the specialty club website page. You kind of have to scroll down. It does not give you very much information on it, but at least it guides you through it and tells you how to apply for it and what you need in order to apply for that Join Together Club. And as we mentioned, your club, your way. This gives you the flexibility to accommodate your club to the needs of your community. It gives you that flexibility that not everything is traditional. You may have a family club that may not be able to meet on a regular basis. You may have a mother's club that might not be able to meet on a regular basis. So it makes it a little bit more flexible and more comfortable for the members to meet the way they need to. And there's a booklet also called Your Club, Your Way that will help you guide you through this, but it brings in additional younger members as well too. But again, it encourages the family membership. So it gives you that flexibility all the way around in recreating. But again, you still have to abide by rules that international has, even though it's your club, your way, but there are still guidelines you still need to follow. Now, if you're really serious in there, which I hope you are, in starting a new club, here are the things you need to look at this checklist. You need a minimum of 20 members to start the new club application. We always encourage you to at least have more than 20, to have 25, even 30, but 20 is a good start to begin with. And it is the hope that you will establish those 20 and establish that club within the 6 months or less. The district governor needs to authorize this club. So when you apply online and everything, the governor will be sent a message to approve it. Be clear about the charter fees and certifications that are needed. Your members need to be aware of that. There are charter fees that it is a one-time thing when they first join. And after that, there are dues that come along that involve international, your district, and your club level, and of course, any other fees that are local there within your vicinity or community. And of course, there's the discount dues for the students. And also there's a family unit. It's something you want to keep in mind too. There's a discount for the family member of a full paid member. The other thing too is to keep in mind, it does have you apply for the EIN number, which is Employee Identification Number. That is required with the United States. You cannot complete the application process without completing that EIN number. And as previously mentioned, the branch club, you do require the 5 members. The district governor needs to be notified that this branch club is going to be added under the parent club. You elect your president, secretary, and treasurer. The parent club also needs to provide approval for all branch clubs within that parent club. And of course, the application process. And that is something, all of this is done online as well too. So for today, we are covering step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is developing your team to start your new club. Step 2 is identifying the areas and focus on areas and sites to where you want to start this new club, and also looking for possible meeting places as well too. In the second session, we'll be covering number 3, which is the promotion of the club and the request or recruitment of members as well too. And the final session, we will focus in detail on the information organizational sections in closing out and submitting the final application points to international. So after all these 4 steps are completed, you are ready to charter your new club. Your team. It is important that you get a team together, and all of this is bringing your GAT team together. Your district governor is the chairperson of your district global action team. He or she takes the lead in this. They should be active in their team and achieving the goal of developing the new club. And additionally, the district GAT should ensure that the new club officers are trained. So between the district GAT and the district governor, they need to make sure that the new officers coming into this new club all get trained. Membership of the district development team, it includes your GMT, your GET, your GST, and your GLT, both at the district level and multiple district. You also bring in your first vice district governors and your second vice district governors as well too. It's important that you include your region. If you don't use region, your zone chairs. Make sure they are included in all of this, because these clubs, wherever they are assigned, it's going to fall under them as well to provide that support. The other key factor is your certified guiding lion for the new club. Make sure the lions are recruiters that are focused on starting new clubs and helping out with the existing clubs. All these people, these members, are key individuals to help the charter succeed and to let them know of all the resources that are available to them from Lions Club International. The other key factor is your guiding lion, your certified guiding lions. District governors are encouraged to appoint at least one, but we recommend 2 guiding lions. These members, these guiding lions, will be the motivational movers and shakers of that new club to provide that support for that new club. They need to be familiar with a guiding lion guide and recommend they incorporate the use of the club officer mentor team checklist. These checklists are available in that guide, and we highly recommend, because that is a mentoring program that will really help the officers flourish and get moving forward with their task. The other key factor to this new club are the members of the sponsoring club. They should be involved as well too in the formation of this new club. At least 2 members should be involved with the whole process. That way they serve as liaisons to the sponsoring club and making sure that they bring to the attention of the sponsoring club of all the tasks that they are being completed and the support that is going on. So it is highly recommended, even though it's not stated anywhere, but it is recommended you have a couple liaisons between your sponsoring club and the new charter club. Where is it? And the recruitment team. This is your team or your task force team. Different districts have different names for them. Your team should be ready and active to be involved in the formation of this club. They can use various instruments or tools that are available. There's the new club development guide, as well as the Just Ask training that is within International. They should be familiar with the community and the business where you are recruiting new members. And also be familiar with forming the organizational meeting, as well as the formation throughout the whole process of charting up to the charter night. So it's important that they all be familiar with the process. So again, it is recommended you have 2 guiding lions with expertise, knowledge of background of how to work with new clubs. It is preferred that you have a guiding lion. If you can only do 1 certified guiding lion, maybe have a past district governor help out as a resource, a support with that certified guiding lion. The key to the club's success or failure is the guiding lion support of that club. It has to be ongoing. There has to be ongoing information regarding trainings, events, as well as providing support for the next 2 years. There has to be follow-up as well too between the supporting supporting club, the parent club, and the new club. Keep tabs on them. Don't just, once they get established and everything, don't just leave them there. Make sure there's follow-up with them at all times. And of course, involve your district, your multiple district GMT and GNT, making sure they're following up and see if there's anything that they need in the process. The other thing too is make sure your guiding lion is a fit for that club. Many times a guiding lion will be appointed to a brand new club, but the guiding lion is not familiar with the community. He or she is not familiar with the new members. Make sure it's a fit. Make sure there's comfort there where the new club, the members, the officers feel comfortable sharing and just free to go. It's, in other words, somebody they feel comfortable with going with any issues they have to work through, because things will happen that first year and it doesn't all fall in all at the same time. So make sure your guiding line is a fit for that club. Creating your teams. I'm not going to read through all this because you're going to get the presentation here, but it is important that you build a strong team, that the people that you assign to starting that new club are committed to recruiting and fitting into their roles as they're doing. This chart shows the breakdown of the various teams needed for recruitment. It is recommend that you have anywhere from 4 to 6 people for recruitment. We know that in some locations, some districts, that is not doable. That may not be possible. We would suggest maybe 3 people. Your sub-team serve as a team that support the recruitment field in all aspects. So in other words, you have your lead team, you have your field team, your ground team, and the response team. So they all have important roles to play when it comes to getting your club charter and set up. And of course, there it has the qualities that everybody's looking for. Of course, organization is a key factor, technology background, comfortable talking on the phone, people skills, writing skills. Sometimes you have to think, right away on, right there, right then and there, answer questions. So all of these are key factors when you're trying to put your team together. Look at the talents of your team and focus on aspects of where they can help you develop your team. Off of the new club development guide, you could start developing and creating a checklist, a to-do list. And this is a very simple way of going down the line and assigning tasks and duties to your task team that you have going out. So it's a matter of checklist and going down the list. This way it has accountability for each of your team members, making sure that everybody understands their role. But all this right here is within your new club development guide and the guiding lion guide as well too. So these are 2 resources for you that we could pull this information off of. So a to-do list is very helpful as well too. Determine the areas of opportunity. These are things that you need to look at when you start looking for locations of new clubs. This would be the person that would be familiar with that community and possibly has connections within the community. Tap onto that resource because they are familiar with the population, what diversity is within that community. What are the needs, the project possibilities, what service projects are in there? Are there other organizations in there you could team up with as well too? Tap to people that have not already been recruited, locations that of other Lions clubs. There, you have to get a feel as to where a new club would fit in all aspects here and what type of services. Nothing says you can't have a second Lions club within the same community, because there may be having different service aspects. Like one may be a traditional club, one may be a specialty club, or even a campus club or a virtual club. You can have multiple clubs within that same community. And look into your demographics. What are underrepresented groups? Are you, how diverse, ethnically diverse is your community as well too? Do they have special events, community civic events in the community? You want to look at all of that. So the key to consider areas of opportunity to build a new club is tapping into somebody that knows that community. Like Daniel Elkins mentioned, is what are your community assets? What are the other agencies are within that community that are serving that community that you could tie into and start a new club? And some of that falls under also the Join Together club. That's something to look at. Your resources. There's different ways you could look at for community needs. There's your government agencies, service agencies, and other nonprofits that you could look at as well too. You know, next door, knocking on your neighbor's door. There's also Wikipedia and US Census that gives you demographic breakdown of that community as well too. So there's different avenues. The thing is just to get your mind going and see what you could tap into, okay? Where am I? The purpose of the site development research is to evaluate the needs of the community. It is a way to gauge the feasibility of chartering that club and gather other important information about the community to determine how a Lions Club can benefit in that community. So again, here, reaching out to your community leaders. You have your business groups, human service agencies, Chamber of Commerce, your executive director, school administrators, principals, directors, coordinators, law enforcement, your fire department, mayor, and other communities. So this is all falls under that. There's many wealth of resources out there, but also don't forget that not to, don't forget to ask other members too within that agency if they want to join. Sometimes, many times, if they join your club, they may be that may be a foot in the door to start a new club, to branch off, especially if they're part of the club and they want to do something specific. That is a good way to get started and to branch off for the new clubs. Start with a branch club and have it evolve into a brand new club. Your site research. There's a large variety of areas where you could recruit. As the club organizer, it's preferred that there be 2 or 3 Lions that spend a day in the community, visiting possible recruitment locations and opportunities, meeting people, canvassing. It's a good thing to go out there and just walk around, either have breakfast, have lunch, meet up with a few people in the community, people that are familiar with the community, get some insight as to what the needs are in the community, especially if there's anybody that have personal ties to the community. That is an excellent resource. What service projects, organizations have been there as well too, and what would they like to do within that community? There's a variety of ways you could approach this, as well as there are areas here that you could possibly consider as a meeting place as well too. So those are some things to consider and look at when you go out canvassing and meeting people. It is does take time. There is legwork involved in all of this, but when the timing is right and you get that one person to plant that seed, and get it going, it pretty much falls into place. And here's the resource. That is the new club, start a new club link here that is in here. The other one too that I will include in the PowerPoint that I sent to you is the Guiding Lion program. Within that Guiding Lion program, it has the mentor list for each of the club officers. That along with the new club manual, starting the new club, is a great resource to tie together with starting the new club. So it's highly recommended that you go into those two and start looking at it and reviewing them, and start doing your checklist, start doing your plan. So for a second session will be next Wednesday, October 23rd. We will cover promoting the club, aspects of recruitment, working on the invitation, the informational meeting, the organizational meeting, the new club application, and resources. Between now and next week, we'd like to ask each of you to please review the new club brochure, the new club development brochure, and the Guiding Lion program brochure, or the guides, in other words. Take time to read through them and start to set up your new club development action plan. Start lining up your team. Start thinking of your teams, who would be a good fit to go out and start this new club. If you need a copy of the action plan template, let me know and I will get that to you. Governors, those of you that did action plans, it's the same template. So if you have the same template, please feel free to share. But start looking at starting a new club guide and also the Guiding Lion. Become familiar with that. Share it as a GAT team. It's important that each of you become familiar with each of those booklets, and that will be a big help because everything that we're sharing with you is within that guide, both of those guides. Manny, you want to go ahead and turn it off? Are you able to?
Yes.
Take off the share. Okay. Whew. All right, we covered a lot, and I know a lot of this was repetitious for some of you, but I know there's some of you that this is all brand new. I'm sorry for stumbling on some of this segments there. But with Manny teaching us a new portion of it, it kind of threw us for a loop there a little bit. But Mark?
I just want to explain that last year, MD4 took on the new club development workshop process. And was it 6 sessions, Juanita, or was it 4?
It was 4. It was 4.
4. As a result of that effort, MD4 ended up with 17 new clubs last year. Many of us know what we're talking about as we go through this. We've been Lions for a long time. Some of us may even have experience starting a new club. Other people are starting from scratch. They don't know the basics. And so this is what this session and the follow-on sessions will help you do. It'll help fill in some gaps that you may not be aware of. It'll also open up an opportunity for you to reach out to your MD, GMT, and GET. Not all MDs have a GET yet. They'll be required next year. But right now, if you can get your GAT team moving and motivated, we can make a major effort to secure new clubs in Area 1B this year. And so in January, there's going to be another series of new club development workshops. Different tone, different approach. Basically the same thing, just brought to you by different people. We'll give you more information on when those will be happening in January, in February, and that's all for Area 1B. Juanita?
Thank you, Mark. Yes. And the main thing we decided to do this now is because we need to get moving now. We can't wait. If you have clubs in the works right now, which some of you do, don't wait to continue moving them forward because you know your goals already. You have your set goals that you submitted to international. Take a look at them. Where are you at in reaching those goals? If you put down you're going to start 4 new clubs and you have only done 1, it means that all of us have to start moving now. That's why we wanted to do this refresher for all of us here to make sure that it's in the forefront. It's in front of us here. We need to keep moving forward and doing as much as we can to start the new clubs. But these tools are not only for starting new clubs. It is to also rebuild. You could use a lot of the strategies within building new club to build new ones for clubs that are struggling. Again, for clubs that are struggling, they're going to have to want to do it. You can't force them. If you have a club with 10 members that all they meet is for lunch or dinner, and they don't want to do anything else, you could present this to them to see if it might ignite something and bring somebody new in there that will re-energize them. But if they don't want to do it, we have to keep moving forward and look ahead. So this is what we want to incorporate within the entire constitutional area. We need to keep moving forward and don't wait to start those new clubs. If you have a club application, don't wait until the end of the year. It makes it a little nerve-wracking there, which we kind of went through this past year. If you're starting a new club, you should be able to get a club up and chartered within 3 months. And I know Manny did one within a couple of weeks last year. So it is doable, but it does take some work and it does take some effort, and a lot of it depends on the team that you have. So you need to have a reliable team that you can count on all the way through the whole process, and know there are people behind you that are there to support you and provide any support or guidance that we can give you behind the scenes as well.
Juanita, I was wondering if we might get District Governor Jennifer Cho, who has just been on fire with new club applications and the clubs she started this year so far. And we were wondering, Governor, if you could tell us what you're doing that's making your efforts in new club development so successful.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. I don't think this is so successful, but I was planned my 3 clubs last year. 1 Leo club, 1 Leo Lion, 1 Lions club, and my 2 GMT, I have a coordinator, and one is a Benji who is here tonight. She's working on 1 club. My another GMT, Dr. Sar, he's working on another one, but he haven't submitted starting whatever paper yet, but 2 other clubs they're working on it. I almost finished now, like a Leo Lions Club. I finished the 1 Lions Club. So I don't know how to share, but
maybe if we asked you questions, it would be helpful. For example, did you have a team? Do you have a team that's working on
so
it?
we have a team. We have a GAT team meeting, and I keep following up. We do, as we recommended the first, the second, our vice district governors, GLT, GST, GMT, with GLT all together. We are talking, we're checking the status, what's the next step. And there's another, our, sponsoring club, we like to even sponsor the admission fees. You know, kind of a lot of incentives if they make it before December 21st. So I'm hoping that the pending approval, pending those application, I'm hoping that they finish so they can advantage of our incentive. We sponsor the admission fees. You know,
If I'm not mistaken, you have 4 or 5 clubs in the queue.
yeah.
Okay, it's a pretty large number of clubs for one district, and you have just been going all out since you started this year. And I'm sure we'll call on you again because there's something you must have in 4L3 that the rest of us would like to know about. But thank you for letting us put you on the spot tonight.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Cecilia, you have a question? You're muted.
I have a question regarding the, what you mentioned about what's needed for new clubs. You mentioned about certification fees. Is that the same as initiation fee?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
there's a $35 fee and then also the international dues on top of that.
Thank you.
Juanita, when you said that, you said there was fees plus there's also additional certifications. Can you explain what the additional certifications are?
That's the certifications would be the gosh, went blank. Because there's the $35 initiation fee and then there's international. And those are the only two.
Okay, I thought you were saying that there was some other certification thing that we had to do, not that wasn't dues, it was maybe an application or something.
It's probably
Mm.
the tax forms.
The tax forms, okay.
You have to
Yes.
do the EIN number, and if you don't have a guiding lion, don't you have to have a guiding lion or two?
Right, right.
So
That's
that's what the certification is?
right, and their certification on the application itself.
Okay.
Rosemary.
Yeah, thank you for leading this meeting tonight. I was curious, I have a Leo club that we started 2 years ago, and we're starting to transition some of those members as Leo Lions into our Lions clubs. And I'm looking ahead to trying to form a Leo Lion club, but you need 5 members, I think, first, if I remember right, that are Leo Lions that have been Leos in order to start a Leo Lion club. And you had said that if you did a campus club, and if you're an international member, you don't pay international dues. Is that to your, like, for college fees? You don't pay as an international student, or is that you're not paying international dues to the LCI? What does that mean?
There's international dues, but they're at a reduced rate.
To LCI or to your campus?
To LCI. That's
LCI.
the only reduced rate. That is the only
Okay.
reduced rate.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Any
I
other
don't know how to
question?
remove my hand either.
Oh, it's okay.
Juanita, could I say something about the EIN?
Absolutely.
One of the things we discovered last year is people would name the club one thing in LCI in the portal, and they'd write another name on the EIN. Those 2 names need to match, and they need to match the one the LCI approved. So if you think, and Manny could tell you this because we went through it with the Long Beach West Long Beach, we went back and forth and they had a couple of EINs. It's not an uncommon error. So just remember that whatever you name your club, that's what the EIN has to be.
Okay, any other question? Manny, did you want to touch on anything? Any remarks before we dismiss?
We'll have in resources a lot of these steps towards the end of it. That's one of the things. For example, the letter to the bank when you're starting the bank, the steps to opening a bank, picking up your picking who are the signatures for the bank, which means that there's some prior steps like registering to the state of California. We'll have some of those steps available for you in a portal in a downloadable fashion so that you could do that. And probably some samples of your like I said, you can go download a blank bylaws and then start filling that in because the banks and the state will need that. And then there's also on the Lions portal the articles of incorporation so that you can be an entity within California. So there are at least 4 steps to go through with California: the EIN, the state of California Secretary of State, the charities, and then there's another thing to look out for as well is that certain areas you need a business license. They don't charge, but some do. So you would have to look at some of the regions in your area. I didn't know that myself, but then I heard there are certain areas that do require that because all they simply want to do is it's an entity within their area, but because it's a 501c4, and remember, clubs are 501c4s, they can have a partner group as a 501c3 with it, but you have to start as a 501c4.
So you're saying that some cities would require us to have a business license?
There are some, but I would suggest just to Google it. You don't need to be calling them up and seeing if
Okay,
what is the 501, some of them are just simply the IRS in the state of California, but you
Manny?
have, yeah.
Kurt, I think, has a story for you about that,
Okay.
waving his hand.
So it does depend upon the city, but you do have to go through the city to find out if there is a permit, required for an application. For example, City of Irvine, it's $4 a year. City of Tustin is $4 a year. So it depends upon the city. You do have to go through the city to find out whether or not you need that business license. And it's a very easy process. You just have to make sure that your city doesn't require a business license. That's it.
Yes, and I knew that it
Yeah.
was in the Orange County region as well. I'm not sure in Los Angeles or again, it's within your area. So the disclaimer is
Right.
please look. I agree.
Right.
And then we'll have some other information about, like I said, some of the basics of being an entity in California.
Right. And for those of you that are out of state, look at your local laws, business laws and regulations there. So that way you're compliant. Here in California, we're a little bit more, it's a little bit more strict. And of course, it depends on the county and the city as well too. So it's something you might want to look into. Rosemary, you have a question?
No, another comment on that. Also, just all clubs should probably just look at their vaping every once in a while because when we started our new club and we went to help open bank accounts for these Leos, we realized that our club had been around for so long that we had been grandfathered in as a fraternity with the state. And then the bank had changed hands and it didn't get changed appropriately. And so all our taxes weren't being done right. No one's fault other than it just slipped through the cracks. But this is something good to look at. And starting a new club, you might run into some of those hiccups. Took us about 6 months to get a bank account opened when it should have only taken, a day.
Correct. And to
Right.
support that, the name of the entity has to match. We did discover a long time ago a club that changed it to host, but didn't change it with the IRS or the state. And it took some paperwork, but they got it corrected. So
Right.
and then just go back and check on yourselves. As the clubs are going back, that's probably one of the steps that we should add into Guiding Lions is to remind them to make sure everything's good and kind of quarterly check things and then annually go back and make sure that things are properly registered because some of them are very low fees and some of them is just some paperwork. So just make sure that they're doing maintenance as a Guiding Lion. Remind them to do that.
Okay. Well, we're approaching at the end here, but we want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. If there's no other closing remarks or comment? Thank you again, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you on the 23rd. And please do look at those guides, become familiar with them, and we'll see you all on the 23rd then at 6:30 p.m.
If we can't make one of these meetings, will you still be sending the PowerPoints out?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Once you register, you're in. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Have a
You're
good night.
welcome.
Thank you so
Good
much.
night.
Good night.